Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kaga. As promised in one of my last videos, this is going to be another Aoba video showcasing what you can do with the Aoba's 8-inch guns using the various upgrades you might have in mind and weighing some of the trade-offs. Hope you're looking forward to that. So this particular replay is highlighting on the straight map that's new to patch 0.4.1 in World of Warships. And you'll notice an interesting little bug. You're not. Yeah, that caught me by surprise too. How was that? Really? Bathtub boats? Come on, Wargaming. Get your shit together, please. Alright, so this is your typical domination match. There are 3 capture points we can contest. The 2 on the outer edges of the island-filled strait, and then the one in the center between what is effectively a very weird bar of soap and the other one being a piece of bow tie pasta, it would appear. Of course, neither of these things are actually there. It's just kind of what I've been calling those 2 weird-shaped islands that are flanking the row of capture points in the center of the map. So we're going to start this match, and I've loaded HE to possibly deal with that one lone destroyer I expect to be surging forward. And I'm kiting my way a few kilometers away from our Nicholas towards the A point and beginning to ponder moving into the B point. It's right about now that I'm looking at the enemy disposition and beginning to realize that, oh, this northern area is full of Clevelands. Oh my. So, not wasting any time, I'm going to try throwing out some DPS on any Cleveland I can spot, and there is one right there. So we test the waters. See what I did there? Yeah, so we're trying out the leads on this particular Cleveland at that distance using the high explosive shells. This will do a few things. One, it will damage him if I can hit him just as so as you saw a few thousand damage off of his stern. And then it will give me the approximate lead for when I need to switch to the AP ammunition, landing roughly around the same areas of the ship that the HE would. Just a little bit in front, actually. They do fly a little bit flatter. And as you can see, now we're right on target to the center of the vessel. And that's not going to do us much good because that's a Cleveland. Those ships are ridiculously hard to citadel. And yes, that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to citadel this Cleveland because 8-inch caliber shells, and particularly the AP shells, have a very good full damage value when they citadel an enemy vessel, and thus I would have the advantage if I could citadel them. And then, oh shit, that's a Pensacola. Nuts. Torps, torps, torps. Alright, we got torpedoes in the water. He must know that they're coming without even thinking about it because, well, it's a Japanese cruiser. So it's at this point that I'm going to try to do more than just control his movement. I'm going to start trying to wreck him and first salvo out 2 citadels and 3 regular shell penetrations, so keeping track of it, that's 5 shells hitting the target. Boom, 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 boom. Staggering out the fire again. Huh, 2 more citadels. Can we get another one? Can we? Can we? Can we? Can we? Can we? Come on, Alba. You can do this. Oh, how kind of you to leave your ship nice and stranded alone in the B point for me. And for those of you who watched my earlier video on the Aoba, you recall that I had upgraded the accuracy of the guns on the Aoba rather than upgrading the turning speed of the gun turrets rather. And as you can see, I think in this case that allowed us to encounter the Tier 7 American cruiser, the Pensacola, and come out on top, dealing almost 2-to-1 damage ratio against him, because American cruisers just pack that much more health. It's not quite 2-to-1, but it's easier to say 2-to-1 than 1.5-to-1 or something weird like that. It's easier to think about it that way. And right now I see that battleship, and that's why I began turning around in the first place. I am not gonna let another thing get within a few kilometers of me, just like that Pensacola did. And I'm gonna throw some torpedoes down into that little inlet past the island. And let's see. Oh, one hit. He's knows his torpedoes now. Will he turn? Oh, those look good. Those look good. Those look good. Come on. Oh, we only managed to scrape one off his bow. Shame. I kind of would have liked to have deleted that Colorado. But we're emboldened again by our success. We put another spread from the opposite side of the ship down towards that Colorado. We've now realized that the threat will come from enemy cruisers instead of the battleship. So we switch back from high explosive ammunition to the armor piercing variety. And we're just checking the lineup on those again. Just make certain we have good lead on that. And now we can swing the hull of the vessel around, try to bring some shots down on this Cleveland, and see if we can start putting some pressure and maybe turning the scores around here. We're a little bit behind. We control more capture points thanks to our little life and death knife fight against the Pensacola. And here we are. Oop, who put that island there? Damn you. Island, move. Oh, I'm supposed to move. Moving's overrated. Okay, here we are. Now we're steaming around again. And carrier, Cleveland, Cleveland. I guess Cleveland. Put another full salvo out. Being careful to move back and forth here to avoid enemy fire coming up the strait. We managed to connect two of those against the Cleveland. Don't know how much damage they did, but anything's better than nothing. We see that enemy Nagato, and I really want to know why our Nicholas went balls deep into the Nagato this way, but I guess it's going to work out, right? I mean, battleship drivers more or less go in straight lines. And it looks like there's a nice torpedo run up there. And will he get it? Will he get it? Oh, he went down. Too bad. But we're still able to put some extra volleys in there. Oh, engine. Oh, that's the maneuverability's out. Let's go ahead and repair that. I cannot keep dodging Cleveland fire with a busted up rudder. And I need to keep doing this every little bit here, doing it inconsistently, so that the Cleveland's fast rate of fire is negated, and possibly I can start doing something about finding that citadel or doing more damage to him than he can do to me. And as you can see, we're able to confound his leads for the most part. All but a few shells scrape the water below us. And is that a Wyoming? Yes, that is a Wyoming. Ooh, who loves some tier 4 battleship? Okay, high explosives ready. We'll get ready for this one. Bring number 1 and number 2 turrets around. Come on, let's get some lead. Let's figure out our Kentucky windage here. Oh, we got one hit with that. That looks right. Oh, he's turning. Let's put a few more out there. Just do a slight adjustment from turret 1 to turret 2. Alright. And it looks like we got some good penetrations on that. Oh, penetrations. They're just good hits. What am I saying? Alright, we put another full salvo. Staggered out just a little bit there. Another 4 hits out there. He is managed to put out the fires, so if we can start them up again, he will continue to burn while we pummel him with HE, which is like every battleship driver's worst nightmare, and RN Jesus, you have delivered. Looks like he's busy engaging that enemy, our cruiser over there. So we put in a few more hits up there, reset the cap again. It looks like our Ranger is setting up for a torpedo run. Boom, boom, boom. Will we get them? Will those connect? Will those connect? Will they beat those American torpedoes? Yes, they do. And for another 1,000 damage and the point reduction, I'll take it. So at this point, a long list of weird things that I now didn't understand about this match would be the behavior of that battleship driver. What were you doing? It was quite clear that the other battleship and, the cruiser that you were with had very clearly decided to turn around. Oh boy, this can only end so many ways. I've got armor piercing loaded. Let's see if we can find that elusive citadel on the Cleveland at distance. Oh, those shots do look good, don't they? Oh, no, not quite. Not quite. He turned just a little bit just in time. So it's probably just us not giving it enough backward pull on the aiming reticle as we were computing the final lead adjustment in our heads. The other Cleveland that we were just shooting at has just passed out of our effective range, so we're switching fire to the other Cleveland, who is doing more or less what we had done to the Clevelands earlier, just not even but a few minutes ago, in being fairly serpentine on the water. And here we go. We put the torpedoes down out there, see if we can pick up some nice goodness on that cruiser out there. I think that's another Cleveland. Seriously, this thing's like the old KV-1S with the ubiquitous D25 122mm gun that it used to have in World of Tanks. Ugh. I mean, they World Warships dev team should probably consider bumping the Cleveland up at least one tier. It's a little bit more than most of the tier 7 players can handle. Anyway, so you're going to notice that right now that I'm exploiting the fact that those torpedoes are in the water. He can only fire his rear 2 turrets at me at a time, and I'm making that especially difficult by narrowing my silhouette by steaming straight towards him. This, as I have covered in other videos, and I will reiterate it again, this is the same effect of armor angling in World of Tanks, in that it can cause shots to ricochet, unless they're firing high explosive into your superstructure, and then they just go boom. And at our low health, anything that managed to do damage would have killed us. No surprise. And now I'm not going to make you wait through another 8 minutes of boring, protracted slugfest and jump straight to the damage screens with Sunken Carrier in the background. That coup de grace, the piece de resistance you've all been waiting for. So I'd like to use this particular damage screen to highlight that there are two philosophies that you can pick when outfitting your heavy cruisers, and it depends on your specific playstyle. If you don't really like to ponder the ammunition selection, you just want to just load the gun and fire it, load the gun and fire it, load the gun and fire it, you're probably going to want the turret rotation, because then that means you can bring the guns onto target faster, you can pull the trigger faster, you're happy. If you like to seek out those elusive citadel penetrations, you probably want the accuracy upgrade. That being said, there are trade-offs to every build and every upgrade that you could possibly put into World of Warships, or for any game for that matter. So it's your experience in playing the game that will tell you which of these types of philosophies you want to go with. I'm just providing some basic templates for people looking to draw a little bit more out of their cruiser gameplay. Your mileage may vary, that always is the case, because now people can move, people have the ability to use all four, well, I guess it's all six directional keys that you could imagine in World of Warships, the two rudder locks, the two independent rudder controls, and the two throttle controls. After that, it's a bit of a contest between your ability to predict where the enemy is going to be, where RNGesus is going to send your shells, and where the enemy is actually going to be. So, caveat emptor, your mileage may vary. So, for those of you who are still pondering which methodology you'd like to go with on your heavy cruisers, here's some food for thought. Just in AP shell damage, the Aoba in this match was able to put out almost 49,000 damage, and we got all those nice juicy Citadel penetrations on the Pensacola. We had only around 15,000 HE shell damage, and adding in the fire's damage to that, you come up to around 20,000, just shy of that actually. And well, it's actually it's a little over 19,000, pardon me. So what that really does illustrate to us is that while the AP shells are a little more RNG dependent, when they do work and you do select them for the right targets, you can do substantially more damage with the AP shells out of these 8-inch guns than you will ever do with the high explosive shells. Oh yes, and you will take the laugh that we only got the one torpedo hit that entire match. So don't rely on them in your Japanese cruisers. They sometimes work, they're funny when they do, but don't go out of your way to put torpedo hits onto target. And on that bombshell of a tip, it's time to close out the video. I'd like to thank you for having bared with me for just over 17 minutes at this point. If you saw something in the video that you didn't quite understand, or something wasn't explained fully, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to help your understanding of World of Warships and particularly cruiser gameplay, because we all know it's really World of Cruisers. If you like this video or other content on this channel, please consider subscribing. I hope to see you all around and for future videos. So once again, thank you. Good day.